from beyond the digital wall. We weave our tales where voices found in the ether where no limits are bound. Whispers of creation, one silent, no rise. In the digital sky where the data flies. With every spark we give them form, bringing life to ideas reborn. We bring to life what once was still, the voices that move, the dreams to fulfill. From the core we rise, creations abound. In the ether our stories are found.
The first thing you need to do is head over to Hedra.com. And by the way, I've heard it pronounced both ways, Hedra and Hedra. So let me know in the comments if you know which of those pronunciations is correct. But we're going to go with Hedra for today. And when you get here, you'll notice that unlike when we did our last video and it was still in beta and free for everyone to use unlimited, there is now an upgrade button that has the paid tiers on it. So if we check that out, you can get a basic plan for $10 a month, which gives you 20 minutes of video each month, and you can run 4 parallel generations at a time. The video length is limited to 1 minute each. So if you remember last time in the video, which I'll link in the description of this video so you can see a little bit more in depth of how we went in and prompted and used the system before, but you were allowed to do up to, I think it was like 5 minutes worth of generation that we got out in one output once. So this being limited to 1 minute can be a little bit of a hindrance. And you'll see even the next step up is only 2-minute videos, and you have to go all the way to $50 a month before you get 4-minute video generation. So you do have to do some piecing together if you have a longer story when it comes to using this now. So I did go ahead and get the basic plan just so that we don't have a watermark. We have it for commercial use, and we have access to the premium voices here so I can show you guys what's going on, and you can decide whether this is the right tool for you to use right now, or if maybe something like Runway Lip Sync or one of the other text to voice generation systems is better for you right now. So once you come in, you've got a couple of options, and the first thing I'm going to show you is how to use the tools that are inside of here and some of the new features before we then get a little bit more in depth about how to make more custom, unique projects using a couple other tools that I'm going to integrate in to show you how I ended up with something like that intro video that you saw earlier in the video. So on the screen here, you can see that we've got a prompt box in the middle where we can create our generation for the image that we want to use first. So 2 new things that I want to point out right now before we go any further that has been added is that you can now change your size aspect ratio here. So we at least have 3 choices now. We have 1:1, which is perfect for like Facebook, LinkedIn. We have 16:9, which is perfect for YouTube videos or landscape videos that you need. And then 16:9, which is perfect for your shorts and your reels. Before we only had 1:1, and it was very limiting. So if we take a look back at my old library things here, you can see that when we made that last video, everything was 1:1. So that is definitely a big improvement that we were hoping would come when we used it last time. So I'm going to change this to 16:9 just so that we can play with the new size here. And we're going to create a character. I want this character to be able to sing for us. So I'm just going to put in something really simple just so that you get the idea here. I'm going to put beautiful female songstress in a storybook kingdom. That should give it quite a bit of wiggle room in the creative process here. Now that we've got our prompt in, I can show you the second new feature that I think is super awesome. If you go down here to select image model and you see the little paint palette here, if you click it, you can now see that you have 3 options when you're on at least that minimum $10 a month plan. So we've got the base here, which was the stable diffusion, which you can use that on the free plan as well. And then we also have access to the Flux Schnell or the Flux Fast. which if you've used Flux for any of your image generation, you know that it is coming out really, really good for photorealism, which makes it perfect for these kind of cinematic things that we might want to be putting some voice on here. And then we've got access as well to the realistic Flux plus realism, which is going to be your top level realism image generation out of Flux right now. So I'll let you decide for yourself if you're feeling Flux over Leonardo AI. And if you guys are interested in me doing a comparison video of Flux against Leonardo, let me know in the comments. And that's definitely something that we have considered doing. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and we'll just choose one of each so that you can see what it would create before we put the song on. So I'm going to leave it on the Stable Diffusion and hit create here. And you can see that right away, this is the image that it came up with. Definitely has a storybook feel to it. She looks like she could be a songstress. If you don't like the image that is produced, you can always hit this randomize seed here and it will generate a new version of the same prompt in the same generation model. So there we go. We've got another one here. Let's go ahead and change this to the Flux Schnell now, and we'll create there. And you can see that it gave her less of the storybook kingdom feel behind her, kind of put her in a forest instead. So if I wanted to regenerate that again, same way, I would just hit this randomize seed down here. And you can see then that it would create another version. Now let's try it on the realism plus Flux. And there we go. So you can tell that the Stable Diffusion versus both of the Flux, the Stable Diffusion is always going to have more of the creativity and cartoonish like vibe to it. At least that's what I found in my generations. Versus the Flux, which is really based more towards if you're looking for absolute realism in your generations. So let's just leave it on this one, for example, to get started. And I'm going to make this one a song since this is the songstress. And then here in a little bit, I'm going to show you how we can customize actual dialogue and put that onto custom characters as well. But for right now, let's go ahead and import our audio. So I'm just going to click that button. And I just went ahead and uploaded a song I had here, just a clip of it from Suno that I created. It's actually the song that I used in the intro of this video. So let's give that a quick listen. Storytellers from beyond the digital wall. Okay, so that sounds good. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use her picture, and then literally all I need to do is go ahead and hit generate video here. And you see that it starts generating up here, and you can see that it is queued up, and you can also see it down here in your library where it's producing. So we know that that's running. So once that's finished, we'll come back and take a look at that. But let's make another character here real quick that isn't a person. Let's just do a robot here, and I'm going to get rid of that audio. We'll create that. And you can see that in the realistic Flux realism, that's what we got for our robot. Let's change that though to the base Stable Diffusion, just so that you can see what your option would be if you were just using a free account here. So this is that free version. I'm not really feeling that. That doesn't look very good over here. So let's go ahead and randomize that. There is also a random prompt here if you just don't know what to make and so you just want to use this. You can go ahead and just come in and hit random prompt and see what you get and don't throw a fit. So let's say I want to put my voice on here now with the robot. So I can come in and I can hit start recording. Hi, my name is Jessica with the Real AI Agent. Play that. Recording. Hi, my name's... Okay, so if we take a look, you can see where it actually picked up a little bit where I didn't want it to pick up and quite a bit of blank space here. So if I take this white slider bar and I just move it up to where I can see the wave and bring it in, then I'll know that I'm only generating the part that I actually want to generate. So let's give that a listen. Hi, my name's Jessica with the Real AI Agent. And then now that I've got that recording and my robot, I can go ahead and generate that video as well. So even though the first one is still generating, it's okay to go ahead and generate another one because I get 4 concurrent generations on this plan. So we can see that it's still thinking, and now it's got that job in the queue. So it's going as well while our first video is still producing there. One other really cool thing I want to show you before we hop into doing some more customized work and really getting into the nitty gritty details of how you can make this really cool. Let's come in here and get rid of this audio. And this time, let's just do the random prompt here. So we've got a vampire aristocrat and a velvet cape under moonlight. Okay, so that's pretty good for Halloween. We'll go ahead and just use this here. But you guys know me, I'm not really into the male characters as much, so let's do a female. Okay, and we'll go ahead and bump that up to the Flux Schnell or Flux Fast here. Create that. Okay, that'll work. So now what I want to talk about here is this Stylize button. So if we go ahead and we hit Stylize, you're going to see that it brings up an image next to an image of the same thing. There's also a prompt box and an AI strength level. You see down here that the prompt box says stylize your character here. For example, impressionist painting, vibrant colors, soft textures. So let's say I want this vampire to be a 90s grunge style vampire. I can adjust how much I want to apply that AI strength. So let's just go ahead and leave it about 3/4 of the way here, and we'll hit stylize. This is where the boundless amount of options really come into play. You can keep creating until you find the right character here. So that turned it into a 90s grunge vampire style for sure. She's got a little bit of a wonky broken finger up here. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but say I don't like that one and I don't want to apply the changes, because once I apply the changes, this character is then gone and I'm stuck with my stylized character. So I want to go ahead and cancel that, even if I want to go back in and restylize it. So if I come back in and I want to try again, let's say I want it to be, need to restyle her to a blonde. I can do stylize. And you see there, it really took away the vampire vibe, but it did make her a blonde character. So I actually don't want to use that one either. But let's go in. And if you're really struggling with figuring out how you want it to look and you're afraid that you might forget to cancel out, you can always download your image right here underneath the image before you start applying the stylizations. So let's just go ahead and download that so we don't lose it just in case. And then let's say I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out the prompt that I want to use for the stylization. One option that you do have that can be really helpful is to come up to the top here, and next to create, you'll see stylize. And I can just pull that right back in there. So I have that character. And then you can see that it gives you a couple of options for the stylization just to help you get some ideas here. So let's say I want to try it as an animation 3D. I can select that and hit apply style. And you can see then there what you get is much different than what I had up here. Try it in the sculpture format. We can apply the style, and you see then that you get a sculpture of her bust up from here. One of my personal favorites on here is this tarot. So I think it might go well with a vampire. We'll go ahead and apply that style. Okay, and that looks pretty cool. So if I want to use that, I can come back up here and hit try our full editor for more. If you just want to play around with it, this just gives you a couple of music options that you can choose to play with it just to see what it looks like when you're creating.
Night and day collide, no secrets to hide.
So I could put that on, but I don't really want to do that. I have enough customization where I am using my own song. So we'll come back up here to the try the full editor. And you can see again, it brings up that side-by-side comparison, so you can decide which one you want to use. I think we'll stay with our original vampire though, and go ahead just to show you how you can put on your own audio here. If we come back to generate audio, we can just type out what we want her to say, as well as uploading those audio files. So let's say she's a vampire, so we'll say something like, follow me into the dark of night, but beware. We want to make sure that we're putting in commas where we want them so that she takes natural pauses in the language. Follow me into the dark of night, but beware, you will never see the daylight again. So I can then come down here and choose a voice. So let's see, there's a couple different voices on here. We'll choose one that's not premium just so that you can get a feel for what you would have here.
Ideas are the beginning points of all fortune.
Oh,
I have never been hurt by anything I didn't say.
Our distrust is very expensive.
okay. Well, let's just go ahead and we'll go with Lily for this one. And now that we've got our text prompt in here of what we want her to say, and we've chosen a voice, and we have an image, we now have the ability to generate the video because all components are in there. So we'll go ahead and generate that. Let's take a look at the videos that we just made. So here's our songstress with the song.
We are the real AI agents, hear us call. Storytellers from beyond the digital wall. We weave our tales with voices found in the ether where no limits are bound. Whispers of creation, one silent, no rise. In the digital sky where the data flies. With every spark we give them form, bringing life to ideas reborn. We bring to life what once was still, with voices unknown, the dreams to fulfill. From the core we rise, creations abound. In the ether, our stories are found.
So you can see, not bad, a little bit of render quality issues on a couple of the places, especially with kind of that just kind of whiting out of her eye there and the blurring of the mouth a little bit. We're going to do a custom version of that in just a minute as well with a custom character. So we'll see if that comes out any different than how this Flux plus realism version came out. And then here we go with the voice that I actually recorded on my own with the record your voice. Hi, my name's Jessica with the Real AI Agents. So pretty cool to be able to put your voice on that character directly in there without having to record and change it around and downloading an audio file to then upload into the system. So it's nice to be able to just do it right inside of Hedra there. And then we've got our vampire here. So let's see how she sounds with the text to audio prompt.
Follow me into the dark of night, but beware, you will never see the daylight again.
So if you look at that one, you can tell the emotion.
Follow me into the dark of night, but beware, you will never see the daylight again.
Still some issues with the warping of her eye over on this side, but all in all, very emotive, very nice for the lip sync put on there. So now that you know some of the new things that's going on in the system, let's actually start customizing some things so that you can see how it works with more custom stories if you have your own characters or your own audio files that you want to bring in here. So I'm going to change this back to 16:9, and I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff. And we will use the characters that I already have created for the storytelling series that we're doing here. And you can see that I've got some actual lines that I want them to read over here. So I'm just going to copy this first one, which is the fire lit. I'm going to come into Leonardo first, and I'm going to grab the image that I need to use. Where is my firelit princess? Let's see. I think she's under the upscaled part here. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. And then I can just bring that right on over, drop it in, and I've got my image there now that I want to use. And then I want to use a custom audio. So what I'm going to do is head over to Elevenlabs. And you can see I obviously was working on something else, but that's a great question. What if creativity had no limits? Let me know in the comments what you would be making if you weren't limited by what tools are out right now. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to paste the script that I need her to say, and I'm going to choose a voice. So let's just go with this Anessa here, and I'm going to hit generate speech.
Beneath the glow of ember flames, my story unfolds. A tale of secrets woven with the threads of royal destiny. Follow me into the firelight, where shadows whisper truths.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and download that by hitting this button here. And the nice thing is plans on Elevenlabs start at $5 a month. So this is a great tool to have in your pocket if you are a creator. So let's take that file now, and I'm going to come back to Hedra, and I'm going to hit import audio here. And then again, just going to drag and drop that right on in. We can make sure it plays correctly.
Beneath the glow of ember flames, my story unfolds. A tale of secrets woven with the threads of royal destiny. Follow me into the firelight, where shadows whisper truths.
Okay, so we know that that's right. We've got our character here. All we have to do now is just hit generate video. And let's do one more. So we'll come over here and we'll do our forest guardian. So if I come back to Leonardo, I can choose this one right here and download that. Pull it right on over. Get rid of the previous audio. Head back over to Elevenlabs. Paste that in. Pick a new voice.
Our distrust is very expensive.
She sounds like she could be in the forest. We'll choose Laura.
Whispered secrets rustle through the leaves here in the enchanted woods. Each vine, each petal holds a story. Wander with me and discover the ancient songs of the earth.
We'll download that, pop it right in there, and generate that video. Okay, so let's see how our Fireside Queen came out.
Beneath the glow of ember flames, my story unfolds. A tale of secrets woven with the threads of royal destiny. Follow me into the firelight, where shadows whisper truths.
Pretty good. So now let's see how it does when we add a music file to it to create our own custom music video here. So let's go back to Leonardo and we'll pick another one of these here. Actually, let's go with this one. I like this image. I'm going to download that and I'm going to bring her right on over and drop that image in there. And I'm going to get rid of this audio file and I'm going to bring in that song that we used with our first character right here, if you remember our songstress. And let's see what we get by generating the song with this character. And while that's generating, our second storyteller is all finished here. Let's see how she looks.
Whispered secrets rustle through the leaves here in the enchanted woods. Each vine, each petal holds a story. Wander with me and discover the ancient songs of the earth.
Very, very cool there. So you'll notice that I did use this to put together our opening scene there. So if I come over here, I can see view more and it brings up your entire library. So you can see this is where the scenes from the opening of our video came from. And then these are all from our previous video that we did. So be sure if you want to know more about Hedra, you go check that out as well. If you do choose to use Leonardo or Elevenlabs, I would greatly appreciate it if you would use the links that we have in the description of this video so you can help support our channel's growth. You can see that this generation is taking a little bit longer just because it is a longer audio file at 41 seconds there. While that's generating, let's see how well the story size shorts are coming out here. Let's make our little fox talk here. So we'll bring that over. We'll give it something to say. Let's see how well it does with the Fs. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling foxy. Let's give it a voice character here. We'll just go with this Brian.
The thing always happens.
We'll go ahead and generate that just to see how well it's really keeping the proportion and the aspect ratio correct here. Overall, when it comes to cost and quality, if you're using this just for fun projects, I highly recommend considering Hedra over Runway just because the cost is so much more effective through here. You get 20 minutes of video each month for $10. It's going to cost a lot more to generate over on Runway with the lip sync, although the quality is going to come out slightly better right now. Character-2 has only been out in Hedra for just around a few days, maybe almost a week right now. So it's in its infancy. It will only get better from here. Remember, like I always say, today is the worst these systems is ever going to be. There's constant improvement. The more it generates, the more it creates, the better it will be. And I will say, I've had a couple bad generations come out in here where I just run it again and sometimes again to get a better generation, but eventually it does get there, which is why it's nice to have that 20-minute worth of audio that you're allowed to do each month. So the fox is done. We're still waiting on our song to be finished here with our custom character and custom song, but let's check out the fox.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling foxy.
Ooh, okay. So that didn't work at all. So let's try to have it create its own prompt here, image, and we'll see if it does any better. I'll just put in a simple prompt of cyber fox in the... Okay, so this fox was created using the Flux version here. Let's see if it does a better job without warping versus our cartoonish kind of cyber fox here. And while that fox is generating, our song is now done with our custom character. So let's check her out.
We are the real agents, hear us call. Storytellers from beyond the digital wall. We weave our tales with voices found in the ether where no limits are bound. Whispers of creation, one silent, no rise. In the digital sky where the data flies. With every spark we give them form, bringing life to ideas reborn. We bring to life once for still, the voices that move, the dreams to fulfill. From the code we write, creations abound. In the ether, our stories are found.
So we can see a lot of warping there, especially like here on the wings on her outfit. And at one point, her arms just kind of blur into her body, which is strange. So that might be one where, because it's so long and there's so much going on, I might need to generate it a few times before I actually get a usable finished product. Let's take a look at the fox.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling foxy.
Interesting. So it did the same thing with the fox that it actually created. So seems to really be struggling with the character face there. I like to show you guys when it fails as well, so that you know that I'm not just getting in here and creating these things and the first time it's coming out perfect and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. There's always constant tweaking that needs to be done, whether it's on images or a system like this. You just got to keep running it and keep generating until the system actually gets what you have envisioned out correctly. So let's just make sure that it's not actually the size that it's struggling with, that it is the fox. So let's bring in a human character now. Let's go into Phoenix, which I'll link my Leonardo playlist video in the description of this video. If you want to go check out, I do a ton of in-depth tutorials on Leonardo AI image generation. So go check that out. If you do that though, promise me that you'll subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on so that you know when we drop new videos. And don't forget, now would be a great time to like this video. So I'm going to turn the prompt enhance on. I'm going to leave it on dynamic. I'm going to change my size here to 916. And I'm going to say a beautiful Queen of Hearts looking directly at the camera because I want her mouth to be facing forward so that we can get the best possible image for the lip sync to be put on. So let's go ahead and generate that and we'll download it. We'll replace our fox with the Queen of Hearts. Let's change our voice here. We'll go with Charlotte. And we'll say something like, "You have my heart. What else can I give?" Get rid of that prompt there. And then we'll generate the video. And let's see if it can generate the human character in 9:16 aspect ratio better than it was our fox down here. You'll notice that even when you bring in a custom image, you're still able to use that stylize. So if I wanted to come in here and do the stylize, I still have the tarot card character prompt in here. So let's just leave that there like that. And you can see that that's what my tarot card character would look like. Let's go ahead and apply those changes. And you can see that it then just pops it right in there. All the other settings are still the same. So let's just generate that so that we can see that video as well. Okay, so here's our Queen of Hearts.
You have my heart. What else can I give?
Okay, so it did perfect on there with the 9:16 aspect ratio.
You have my heart. What else can I give?
And then there goes that one on the stylized image. The other thing I want to talk about that is new on here is the API access. So you do have that now in beta. You can sign up for that. You can also check out what's new and what's going on by joining them over on X or on Discord. While you're there, be sure you check out the Real AI Agents too. We'd love to have you follow us over there so that you can see some of our artwork that we don't show on YouTube. And that wraps up this Hedra video, guys. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you're inspired to go out and create something beautiful. My name's Jessica with the Real AI Agents. And as always, keep looking towards the future.